Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel, and welcome to what I'm going to be calling Lone Oak Revisited, because we're going to come back to this map and have a little bit of fun. Now, it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I fed our dog, so let's do that. It's been a long time since I've made a video. It's been a long time since I think something like a year or so. And it's been a long time since we have actually spent any time together here on Lone Oak Farm. Now, that doesn't mean that I haven't been spending time here on Lone Oak Farm. I was looking through the older videos, and I think where I stopped filming videos on this map was sometime still in the spring. So I did the harvest all on off camera and went through I believe another spring and harvest, and here we are back in late winter again. And going to talk about a few things in this video. Going to kind of explain what's been going on in my life. Yes, I'm still alive, and do a little bit of role play here. And of course, this is Farm Sim 19. I'm recording this episode on Friday the 19th, I think it is. And of course, Farm Sim 22 releases in just a few short days. And I've been watching some of the videos this morning, some of the folks that have had access to Farm Sim 22 early, and watching their gameplay and such, and really liking what I'm seeing with the new version. And I have pre-ordered it. I did so a few days ago. I waited until almost the last minute, but went ahead and decided that I'd seen enough, especially the changes with the AI stuff that they've got planned, that it looked worth making the upgrade to. Let's get some coffee. I am just parched. I'm having a hard time getting through these doorways. Would you like a cup of coffee? Here you go. Jack is, oops, we've thrown it across the wall. Jack, my workers, Billy Bob and Jack. Jack has been working on this truck. It had some mechanical problems, and so brought it in. Let me shut this door over here. Um, Brought it in to do a little bit of maintenance on it. Jack is my maintenance guy and also obviously farmer. So we've made some changes to the farm, and I'm going to kind of show these to you. We use some of our proceeds that we've made from previous harvests and such to do a little bit of expansion. And still got a lot of the same equipment that I had been using before, but did upgrade a few things. One of the things that we had built was this corn dryer, and we did it for a couple of different reasons. One, we did it for our own purposes, so that we can see dry, of course, nearest waypoint. I think he'll do fine there. To dry our own corn, so that we can basically increase our proceeds, our revenue. Basically, the price for dried corn is much higher than that of non-dried corn. So we had it built for that purpose. We also had it built for um, additional storage purposes. And why is it not loading? All right. Well, we'll send Billy Bob off with that dried corn. I don't know if he'll be able to resume operation when he gets back or not. We'll have to figure out what is wrong with that. Anyway, we'll come back here to our main farm and shut this door. I'm sure Jack will appreciate um, all of the hot air staying inside. So anyway, I am doing just fine. I think possibly the last time we were together, I had mentioned maybe in another video that I got laid off last summer of 2020. And I did spend a little bit of time looking for another job, and more or less ran into the problem of being somewhat of a middle-aged man who had spent the past 22 years at the same company and earning a fairly nice salary, and much of the jobs that were in the area that I was focusing on, wanted lower skill, lower pay employees, and so it just kind of got to the point to where that every call that I was getting was for something that was $15 an hour, whatever, or it was $15 an hour, and I needed to commute 30 miles or something like that. So I wanted to kind of stay in the same area that I had been working in. And obviously the other dilemma from last summer or last fall was the fact that a lot of places was allowing to work from home, but I didn't want to get into a situation where I was working, from home and the office was 30 miles away, and then all of a sudden we go back into the office, and then what do I got to do? So our situation here, our family situation is fine. We've worked very hard, my wife and I, to pay off our house. Our house has been paid off a couple of years now, and so what I've more or less done was I've retired and considered more or less the house husband. I do our cooking, I do the cleaning, I do laundry, I do the things like that that my wife ordinarily had done before when I was working in the office, and that way she doesn't have to do those things, and then we don't have to do those things on the weekend. So come Friday afternoon when she's off from work, we basically are done. Everything is done. All the cooking, well, cooking's not done obviously, but the cleaning and the housework and the grocery shopping and the laundry and all that stuff is done. So it's what it is, and I'm not ashamed to do that kind of work, because again, it allows her to not have to do it, and that works for me. So I do a lot of DIY. We've made many renovations to the house. Last summer of 2020, I painted the entire upstairs, started replacing interior doors. Our house is about 35, almost 40 years old, and it just had just the old style interior, smooth surface, kind of a plywood type covering over the exterior of the door. We wanted to go with something a little bit nicer, some of the molded doors, and so went and bought those. Each door, kind of get the general 28 by 80 type inch door, but they've all got to be trimmed a little bit. They've all got to have the holes bored in them and hinges mortised and all that stuff. And so spent much of this summer and fall working on that project, and of course the doors have to be painted, and got all of that done. And so now that we are into almost mid to late fall, things are slowing down just a little bit. We do have one little small project that we've been working on that we hope to have wrapped up before Thanksgiving. And hopefully you'll see this video before Thanksgiving, so I would just like to wish all of my friends a very wonderful Thanksgiving holiday here in the U.S. Thank everybody for continuing to stay subscribed to my channel, and thanks to YouTube for keeping my channel active and still open and everything, even though I haven't done anything with it for quite a while. So let's see what else that we can kind of do here. I don't want this video to be a really long video because, well, I don't have a whole lot of time today to do that. So some of the other enhancements that I've done, other than the drying station put in here, I also put in this silage dryer here, and then we put in a TMR mixing station, and then I've got some bell points here. So all good to go. Everything else is pretty much standard. I just took in a portion of this field. We had it paved, and keeping everything pretty much the way it was before. We've got some early wheat planted in, some winter wheat planted. Some of the fields have cover crop on them, the oilseed radish. Other fields I have cultivated or plowed after harvest, and some are still in the state that they were in immediately after harvest. So kind of give us some things to do once we get back into the spring months after winter is over. Let's see, we'll go over here and check these eggs. And looks like Billy Bob is on his way back from making a sale of dried corn to Hollister. Yeah, we've got 3 boxes of eggs here. So FarmSim 22, I was skeptical about it. I was, however, in favor of Giants when they made the plan to basically forego FarmSim 21, which we would have seen, last year around this time frame. I was supportive of that because I felt like Giants needed to spend some additional development time, research time, whatever, to come up with a much better version of their famous franchise farming simulator. And I was supportive of that, and I thought it was, the right plan, the right idea. I know what we can do. We can take the manure up to the greenhouses. And I was supportive of that, as I said. I think I'd even talked about that in some previous videos. And it looks like, they have really done a good job. It looks like they have really done a good job in making 22 a little further along than where 19 was. So I think, if we kind of look at the overall history of Farming Simulator, at least the history that I've been a part of, because as I have said before, I came along to this in 15. Started playing FarmSim 15 about 3 or 4 months after it was released, and played a really long time, as I've said before, just in the base game without any mods. I really didn't know about mods and that kind of stuff at that particular point in time, but spent some time doing that. And I think we all can kind of agree, or hopefully we can agree, that we saw a enhanced, when FarmSim 17 came out, it had been enhanced greatly from that of FarmSim 15. But then that transition from 17 to 19, I'm not sure that one could really say that. It kind of looked like, kind of the same old thing. Hadn't made any real changes to the AI, hadn't bothered implementing a lot of the popular mods of the time into the base game, and kind of looked like it was just really just a new version, lipstick on a pig, if you will. I'm going to slow down just a little bit, don't I? And but I think, and again, I'm 3 days away from having access to the game, but it appears to me that they have taken this additional time, this additional year of development time, and have really put together something that I think is far superior than that what we have here in 19, FarmSim 19. Very pleased to see that they implemented seasons into the base game. I know that initially when I first heard that they did that, it was something weird, like it was going to be defaulted, or it's going to be locked into one game day per month, or per season, I think it was. And they listened to their customers. The customers complained and said, no, we want more flexibility. We want to be able to do 3 game days per season, or 9, or whatever. And they made the changes. They can get 28. If you want to play 28 days in a month, you can certainly do that. If you want to grind out the entire gameplay to a full calendar year, you can do that. Now, I don't know who would want to do that. I certainly don't think I would want to do that. Certainly wouldn't want to do that for any sort of YouTube experiment or YouTube videos and stuff like that. But I'm sure somebody will possibly do it. And who knows? Maybe maybe they want to just do it on a specific map and say, each day I'm going to spend a little bit of time playing as if it was the real world. But they listen to their customers. Now, of course, not being affiliated with Giants, obviously not having early access or anything like that, I can say whatever I want to say about Giants, and I am going to vent just a little bit, because here we go again. Potentially one of the most, outside of seasons, one of the most, I think, requested features that Giants could have put into the base game was GPS. And they have not done that. And I think it would have been, at least I think it would have been easy for them to have done that. If it can be done with a mod, I would certainly think that the developers at Giants could figure out how to actually put GPS functionality into the base game. So again, well, it just looks like that Giants isn't smart enough to see that that's what people really truly want, is to see some of that functionality. Now, the AI, from what I understand, it looks like you might could refer to that as almost Horseplay Lite, maybe the Auto Drive Lite, if we think of it in those terms. I saw a couple of guys testing it this morning on YouTube, some YouTube live streams that I watched, and it still has some challenges, but I think we sort of knew, at least Giants told us, that it was going to be something that was going to be further developed, and there might be opportunities, there might be some bugs and some issues initially, but that would be something that they would certainly do in time, and we'll just have to wait and see what Giants can do, what maybe modders can do. I don't know if I would think, based on what I've seen this morning, that Courseplay still has a need in the game, and I certainly enjoy using Courseplay. I don't heavily use Courseplay, but like, for example, in doing this video, I can use Courseplay to give Billy Bob a job to do. Now, I understand that is part of the base AI feature, and from what I could see on the video, it kind of worked. One of the challenges that the guy that was doing the live stream left some equipment in the way, and I think that that's just something that you would have the same issue with Courseplay if you left something in the road and you had mapped your course out in that direction. Obviously, the tractor or the truck or whatever could possibly hit that, or be blocked from that or whatever. So I think there's just some things that you need to go into it with an open mind and say, I need to make sure that the pathways are clear, and then just kind of see what happens. But I don't think the built-in AI is going to do like drive a tractor and a tipper and empty a combine. I don't think it's going to be that advanced right now. Maybe that's something that will be forthcoming with some updates and such that I'm sure that we will get in time from Giants. So, those are just, some things that I think we just need to, keep mindful of, and, have some patience, because it is pretty much a pretty big ask, I think, for them to put that in. Of course, why they didn't just go full-blown Courseplay, I don't know. I read something a couple of weeks ago that I didn't particularly agree with, but somebody had said, well, Giants doesn't want to infringe on the modders, the ability of the modders to come out with some of their mods to be able to do these things. And I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, the modders are releasing mods, and thankfully they do that. They do that because of the lack of functionality into the base game. But Giants owns all that anyway, and it's not really, there's no intellectual property that I can think of that would be challenged if Giants were to say, okay, FarmSim 22, we're going to take the top 5 mods that are downloaded from Giants Mod Hub, being like GPS, Courseplay, I don't know, some of the others that I can't think of off the top of my head, and we're going to put that into the base game. And those modders that were doing things were leaking Courseplay or whatever. Again, I don't think that that's a copyrighted situation. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm just misinformed, and if that is the case, then I will stand corrected. I think that we all wish that that functionality would eventually get put into the base game, because we have to now wait some time before it's made available. And the other challenge, the other issue that we have seen with this is the fact that sometimes these modders give up. They quit modding, and they have developed something like GPS, for example. I think this was the case with the old version of GPS, and they just no longer are modding, and they don't give permission for anyone to basically take their mod and re-engineer it for the next version of the game. And so you've got to start from scratch with it. So anyway, like you, possibly, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on FS22. And with regards to whether or not you'll see FS22 on this channel, or even with regards to whether or not you're going to see any other videos on this channel, is really, I think, something that uh, is yet to be seen. This video really was, the main purpose of it was to say hi to many of my longtime viewers, whom I call friends, and say that I'm still alive and I'm still doing well, and I'm still playing Farm Sim, I'm still playing Flight Sim and Truck Sim and all this other stuff, and mainly I'm still alive and healthy. And I hope you are as well, by the way. But it's not really to say that I'm going to begin making more videos, whether it be on Lone Oak or NFS22 or whatever. One of the mistakes that I have made previously, and I've done this each and every time with each version of Farm Sim that has come out, and I started making videos on Farm Sim 15, was I stopped making videos on the old version of the game when the new version came out. And I struggle a little bit each time I do that, because there are certain things, for example, when Farm Sim 19 came out, I think we were all looking forward to Ravenscraft, and it ended up being basically a garbage dump. And I didn't enjoy playing on that map, and there is a long period of time, usually a month, maybe 2 months before you start getting decent quality maps coming out for the new version. And so one of the things that I have sort of set myself up with, because I enjoy this map so much, Lone Tree, is that I want to continue to play this. I will continue to do it, whether I am just doing it off camera, or if I make a couple of more videos where I come and talk to you all about what's going on in my life, and share with you all what's going on in Billy Bob and Jack's life, um, again, is yet to be seen. I miss doing this, and if I do have a chance to do some videos, this is probably going to be the time that I would have in sort of the winter and spring months, when we don't really do a whole lot of things outdoors, and we don't do a whole lot of stuff indoors. So we will see. We will see. I'm loving watching our income go up there, and that's going to be a good start for our spring planting and everything. And so maybe, just maybe, I will bring you all in on that, and we can see how many videos we make out of this. And I don't think it's not going to do me any good. It's certainly not going to do you any good for me to make videos in Farm Sim 22 on how to do anything, because I'm just as new to it as you all will be. There's plenty of resources out there. The guys that have had it since this morning, they'll continue to make videos throughout the weekend, and then you'll all have your copy of it on Monday, and you'll be experimenting and playing around with it. And whether or not um, the US map is going to be good enough, fun enough to, in other words, non-trashy enough to do some playing on, again, is sort of yet to be determined. Although from what I've seen, it looks like a really nice map, and I think Giants, it could very possibly be that this is one of Giants' best pieces of work as far as map making goes. So we will see how that goes when we get to that point. Again, as always, thank you so much for watching my videos. Thank you for sticking around, more importantly, and not clicking unsubscribe after 3 months, 6 months, 12 months or more of there being any content coming out from me. So again, if I don't talk to you before Thanksgiving, I wish you all, at least those of you in the U.S., a very safe Thanksgiving. Enjoy the time with your family and friends if you're able to get together. Be careful, obviously, in this time that we now live in with the virus and everything. Be careful. Take care of yourself, and thank you for watching. I appreciate that. And here comes Billy Bob again for another load. Slow down, buddy. All right. Bye for now.